Hey folks, welcome back. Tim here, of course, Gamma VD, and interesting one today. First install on a Gen 6 4Runner. Yeah, the brand new 4Runners. Gonna install a roof rack, show you everything you need to know about that. Wow, here we go. So quick overview of the rack itself. Of course, looks like a Gamma VD rack, very similar styling to all the other Essential Expos that we're doing with our standard roof channel towers. Tapered expo down config, gussets on the sides. We put 4 plates per side on this. Explain a little bit more about that in a second. Same fairing options as well. And yeah, we can customize this in all the same ways we can customize all of our other racks. This one right here being kind of the most standard configuration. And we're talking about the plates. So as you know, every 4Runner shares the same deficiency in that it only has 2 mounting spots on the roof per side. Lexus has got 3, Land Cruiser's got 4. 4Runners only get 2, which means either you don't add more than 2 towers per side, or you tape other ones on, or you get the drill out and you add some rib nuts or threaded holes. And that's what we're going to do today. So the very back one and the middle one, kind of like the 5th Gen 4Runners, are going to be the factory locations. This guy here is completely optional for added support if you wanted to go with 4. And then the very forward mounting plate is going to be where we're going to add those towers today. And that job's not for the faint of heart. I get that. It's not for everyone, particularly on a brand new truck. But hey, this is what you want to do. This is certainly the best way to secure a rack to your vehicle. We're going to be using a series of step drills to get in there, and hopefully we see a nice thick mashup of sheet metal like we do on the 5th gens, in which case we can just tap threads right down into there. It'll be just as strong as anything. But if it's really thin or if these strip for some reason, plan B, of course, is grab the rib nut tool and we'll add some rib nuts, again, just in the forward mount location only. The rest of your prep work, pretty straightforward, same as all the other 4Runner racks. You've got your tower bases, you got your tower tops. You're going to assemble all of them to look something like this, where these are lapped over, washers, block washers here, and then of course those M8 by 30 millimeter bolts with the custom oval washers on top and the rubber sealing washers on the bottom. So putting all those together, we bolt 4 of these to the truck, we put the rack on, and then we figure out how to get the forward towers on there after that. Okay, quick shot. We're getting the towers lined up and installed. Front ones are going to go up in here somewhere. And let's jump to the scary part. Here's our interior, and this is an airbag, and it goes all the way down. But there's a lot of space. In fact, you can feel around it with your hand and know that there's a lot of space for those bolts on top. But to be safe, you want to pull down at least the front portion of your headliner here and just take a look at what's going on. And when you do so, you want to disconnect the battery. Some will say just disconnect the negative side. I feel like the positive side makes me feel better. You can disconnect them both if you really want to feel good, and then wait, a good 15 minutes or so just for any capacitors to sort of dissipate. We don't want to kiss that airbag, and we don't want it popping off if we do. So these are just some nice precautions here. Okay, next step, we've got the towers on and the rack is loose bolted on. Here's a quick walkthrough of what that looks like. Front tower, factory front tower. You can see the tower is shifted kind of rearwards, so we're using that forward, like slot 1 and 3, if you will, from front to back, and it's right in the middle of that plate, just like most racks. Nothing going on here. That's really for accessories. And in the back, we're using these two slots on the rack, and that tower is, again, same position as the front one, so kind of slots 1 and 3 from front to back. And the last detail is we are in the very lowest height position here on the front tower only. The back one is going to be kind of as low as it can possibly get. And you can see the gap under here is pretty nice and low. We wouldn't want this to be too much lower, honestly. Once this snugs up, it's going to be nice and tight. So here's our look from the side of what that guy is going to look like, all buttoned up. Of course, we're not hitting the hatch in the back. We're not hitting the satellite antenna. It's about a quarter inch taller than the satellite antenna, so just barely enough clearance for all your lumber and moving needs. And I did have to reconnect that battery to get the hatch open, so I'm going to undo that here in a second. So then here's our forward tower, and we chose to go in the second set of slots from the back of this plate just to keep this from having to extend super high. Of course, you can choose a different one, but this feels about right to us. And if you were going to do the easy button, then you'd be taping this down with some 3M tape and then start to button this thing up. But today we're going to add the holes. So I'm going to take my Sharpie and I'm going to mark right in the middle of that slot a little dot where I want to drill. And you can see my little dots. Don't worry about centering it. We just want to be centered front to back. Don't worry about side to side. We're going to do that in a second. So I've got my holes marked. And where are my holes? There. Got my holes marked. Now the next move is unbolt this, unbolt that, unbolt that. We're going to slide the whole rack back to give us the clearance we need to work up front here. So now we're going to take our rubber sealing washer and position that in the middle of this channel. And that's what's going to give us the in and out that we want, so that this guy sits nice and flat. You can see my little black dot is in there, but where I really want to be now is right in the middle of that sealing washer, and that's where we're going to drill our holes. So we just take a little punch and make a little indentation, and that'll help for a little pilot on our little drill. So we'll do that for both of these. And I remember on this one, it was the left side of my line here that was going to line up. Nice thing is that the towers are slotted. So if it's not perfect, it's going to be okay. So let me just go a little bit more like that. And right there is perfect. So now I've got 2 indentations. That's going to help me start the drill. So we're going to start with our step drill, which has got a nice sharp point on it. And that's going to fit really nicely in our indentation and not walk on us. Ideally, we go a couple steps up and then I switch to the tap drill size for the M8 thread. And then we tap our threads. Plan B, though, is we can use another step drill to get us up to that 7/16 diameter for the rib nut. But we'll see how this goes first. And fingers crossed here. This bit ended up being the ticket. This is a titanium step drill, and we went to the second diameter, 1/4 inch. When you look at the underside, you can see me poking a little poker down from the hole, and you can see how clear that is from the airbags. So this was a great precaution. Not sure it's completely necessary, but you can see the little punch coming down through the hole that we created, inches away from that airbag there. So worked really, really well. When you're tapping the threads, just make sure you go nice and slow. Use a lot of lube. Back it up if it loads up with chips. Should be in great shape. End result should look nice and clean. It should be about the thickness of a nut. And again, it's going to be just as strong as a factory thread, stronger than a rib nut if done well. And here we go, bolting on that front tower. The nice thing is they feel really good going in, and you have that peace of mind that if this fails for some reason, you can always open up the hole and add a riv nut. But in most cases, you're going to forget all about the job you spent adding these threads by the time you go to do your final install and tightening. And again, just one more shot showing the tap going in and adding those front threads there. So we got all the bolts on, finger tight, hook the battery back up. Just kind of a quick walk around of where all of that landed on the rack. And that tower, this guy here, that little bolt in the middle, and then our forward towers looking like that. Tightening sequence is going to be identical to all the other racks. We're going to start with this inside one on top, tighten this one, then tighten that one. Then we're going to tighten the two that go into the truck, and then we're going to work our way back. Same sequence here, here, and there. Very back, same sequence, top, top, bottom. Then we'll work our way forward, clamping these center bolts tight. But again, we're allowing these towers to stretch out, hit the rack all at the same plane, and then we'll clamp them in that newfound position. And this guy will be ready for action. For the trim piece, we went ahead and reinstalled it in front and then just cut it right before the first tower. And I like to go ahead and add a little bit of that, the same silicone we're using underneath just to help hold it down so it doesn't flap up. But in here, I think it's better to keep it open because it's easier to clean and keep clean. It doesn't trap any water, dirt, etc. But I do think there's some value here on water flowing over this, that it's worth adding this back above the windshield. And then one more walk around on top, just how everything looks, buttoned up, ready to go. One thing I'll point out on the rear tower is we reverse the order of those, just like every other rack. On the back ones, we have the tower top going behind the base, and that just makes it a little bit easier to bolt onto the plate above. But on the other ones, it's all in the more standard config where that top is in front. So let me know if you have any questions. And you should be able to grab it and give it one of those, and this is solid. I think one of the biggest advantages of adding that forward tower, same advantage that you got when you chose to go with our welded steel rack instead of the bolt up aluminum ones, is just how much stronger this is. This is the most common thing you're going to be doing, is using this as a grab handle. Even getting up here, I don't know what you're doing, but you're putting stuff in a tent, or you're trying to get a thing bolted up, but this is an all day, every day kind of thing. And you want to have that side load up there. You want it to be nice and strong. So definitely, in my opinion, worth the time of adding that. You're not going to have any issues down the road. And that's going to do it. Thanks. Fun one. Little challenge on those threads, but I think it's worth it. If you're going to do this, let's do it right, okay? And hey, let me know your questions. Let me know what else you want to see in products as well as videos, of course. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.